Early on in Monster Hunter Wilds, the story whisks you into the Scarlet Forest, named after the blood-red water that flows through its lower levels. Various characters actively wonder why the water might have that distinct color, but you are never actually given a concrete answer. Well, it turns out that the actual cause for this phenomenon has nothing to do with any of the large monsters in the area, and is instead related to flora. During the fallow season, you can find numerous trees in this area that ooze this deep red sap from their trunks, which flows into the waters beneath. During the downpour, the heavy rains wash off this sap and recycle the waters of the forest, which is why in the plenty season the water runs clear. You can even find these same trees in the plenty as well, which now have dark brown crusts where the sap once flowed. These trees are also only present in the lower areas of the forest, which is why the water only ever turns red there. This game is just unbelievably dense, and you can't go a minute without running into some cool or interesting detail of some kind. After the positive response to my last details video, I figured I'd make another one like it to explore some other small things that this game has in store. There are many of these little details that would never really fill their own video bespokely, but also aren't going to fit into any of the bigger videos in any way that flows well. I'm also currently working on the big Ecology documentaries, but as you can imagine, they are quite a challenge this time around, so I hope this video can help tide you over. Big thanks to my partner in crime Zugzwang, who helped me with most of these discoveries. While we are in the forest, let's turn our attention to the body of water in Area 17, which the game calls the Loch. If you've done any of the fishing side quests, I'm sure you are already intimately familiar with this spot, as fish gather here frequently in great numbers. Sometimes, this can lead to a massive feeding frenzy, where the water surface erupts with splashing, fishy bodies. During these events, which most commonly occur on mornings during the plenty, you can even watch Harpios swoop in and feed on the fish for a bit. This doesn't serve any gameplay purpose as far as I am aware, but it is super cool nonetheless. One thing you may have wondered about in the forest is its inclemency, the downpour. We learn during the story that these weather events are either caused or at the very least amplified by ancient technology related to Wyveria. But how exactly does this work in the forest? If you walk around the area, you'll quickly notice that there is a sort of hexagonal mesh embedded into various trees. This can be best seen in their highest canopies. Moreover, these trees seem to actually be multiple tree trunks merged into one structure by coiling around these meshes. This seems to imply that these were, at one point, ancient machines that either got overtaken by nature or were cleverly hidden among it. And we can infer that it is these machines that influence the weather because they take on an eerie, wilky glow during the downpour. This can be seen really well on this distant tree visible from Area 17. How exactly they influence the weather, I don't know. My best guess would be that they use Wilk to pump something into the atmosphere to cause or at least amplify the downpour. Now, as you further explore the forest, you may come across these small leaf bundles hanging from trees in various areas. Zugzwang and I first thought this might be the nest of some endemic life, maybe the Amstrigian during the fallow. But no, turns out these are hammocks built by and for the woodwoods. If you hang around one of these things during the evening, you even get to see a little waddle cuddle into them to sleep. Very cute reminder that this is indeed their forest at the end of the day. One last curious detail worth noting in the forest can be found in the nest of the Lalabarina. This is one of the most visually striking areas of the map, fitting for one of the best new monster designs. If we look straight up into the Lalabarina's web, we can actually see a few skeletons hanging from the webbing. This might imply that the Barina feeds on its prey up there, similar to what we see Nursilla attempt to do with my King Rove. What's curious is that when Eric is caught by the Barina during the story, he is trapped and stored at ground level. So maybe the Lalabarina catches prey and leaves them on the ground, only taking them up into the web when it's time to eat? One benefit of this that I could imagine is that fresh prey laying on the ground might attract lesser predators into the nest, allowing the Barina to secure additional free kills. Just theorizing here, but either way, really neat environmental detail. Okay, so let's say you want to leave the forest, but you don't want to fast travel. Wilds is a seamless world, so there are various passages that can get you from one map to another. These transition zones are actually treated as separate maps, and have their own names and gatherables. You know most of these places from the story sections, but what's really cool is that there are also some transition maps that you are never shown and that you can find on your own. My favorite one is the Lost Road to Wyveria, which connects the Ice Shard Cliffs to the ruins of Wyveria. It's a really unique spot that allows you to take an atmospheric stroll through what seems to be the outer city of Wyveria. Very unlike anything else in Monster Hunter, and I wish we could actually fight monsters here as well. Speaking of stuff new to Monster Hunter, Wilds gave us an extremely cool new monster type with cephalopods, with two members that are already high up in my favorites list. What's extra cool here is that you can actually observe and catch the baby forms of both New Udra and Shay Wu. For New Udra, this can only be triggered when a tempered New Udra appears in the basin during the fire spring. If you then go to its nest in Area 17, you will see these hanging kelp-like growths. These are New Udra eggs. Once the fire spring turns into the Plenty, these will then hatch into New Yaya, the larval form of New Udra, which you can catch as a rare endemic life. Larval Shay Wu can be found in a similar way. They hatch from the glowing yellow eggs that can be seen in Area 12 of Wyveria, which is Shay Wu's nest. They can spawn during the day in the Plenty, but it seems to be somewhat rare, at least I wasn't able to entirely figure out what makes this work. Luckily, the optional quest Astonishing Adaptability guarantees a batch of larvae will hatch, so by accepting this quest and going to the nest, you too can observe and capture the elusive Shay Yo. Now, let's get to some lore. Since the first few trailers of Wilds, people have been arguing back and forth if Fabius and Gemma are returning characters, as they heavily resemble the Ace Lancer and Little Miss Forge from Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, respectively. I can say with confidence that, yes, they are indeed them, and here is why. Fabius literally wears the Ace Lancer armor during his fight with Gormagala. One of his bodyguards mentions that he used to be an ace hunter and that he hopes by observing Fabius, he himself will also be ready to become an Ace Lancer. Fabius has a special interest and history with Gormagala, and on his coat, you can see the emblem of the Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate Caravan. As for Gemma, she also wears that same emblem on the back of her jacket. She mentions that she left home at a young age, and that she used to travel with a daring and capable hunter. When she first meets the Astrum unit, she excitedly asks if they are an ace team, implying that she has worked with ace hunters before. But the final, most conclusive evidence comes from Fabius, who, in post-game dialogue, sometimes mentions that he met Gemma when she was just a child, and that he remembers her staring in awe at his friend, Nadia. Nadia is the canonical name of the Ace Gunner, a member of the 4U cast of characters. She was given this name in the Netflix-only Monster Hunter Legends of the Guild movie, so no biggie if you don't know this. The fact that she is Fabius's friend, and someone Gemma met when she was a child, pretty much by itself confirms to me that Fabius is the Ace Lancer and Gemma is Little Miss Forge. Moving on. At various points during the story, you might have noticed the characters mentioning an academy of sorts. This is almost definitely the Royal Academy of Shrade, an organization of immense importance that only gets mentioned a handful of times across the series and is more relevant in the books. From what we know, this is the center of scientific research that collaborates closely with the Hunters Guild, and is very likely the beating heart of science and research in this world. One fun thing you might not know is that many of the real-life lore books of Monster Hunter are presented as being in-universe written by scholars of this Royal Academy, specifically the Royal Paleontology Scriveners. They are, for example, the people that put together the in-universe evolutionary trees that you might have seen on this channel in the past. And this is it for today. As I said, I'm hard at work on the Ecology documentaries for Wilds, and there is so much to cover. Thank you for your patience, and, as a special treat, here is a little taste of what my eventual Wilds videos will be like. Far to the east, where citizens of the known realms have not dared step foot in a millennium, lies a region known as the Forbidden Lands. In light of a recent expedition, spearheaded by the Royal Academy and the Monster Hunters Guild, information about this mysterious place has gradually come to light. In this piece, the Guild aims to collect all of the knowledge gained in the wake of the White Wraith investigation in an orderly and sanctioned manner. As always, a huge thank you to all of the Patreon supporters and YouTube channel members on this channel. I want to especially thank Ant, Suddenly, Suck Uwu Bus 69, Molly Mockery, Rose, Zyperius Folkvar, Hamburger Discord, Feopuz, Lufish, Morgul Blank, Tacti Wolf, Phyla Zero, Jacob Coleman, Hellbug Hunter, Shebo, M1 Have 12, Regal Eagle, Wronger 97, Quali, Mad Hat 124, My Name Gone, The Dollarfish, Sheba, Ryan Hook, Veraxis, Thick, Kuroneko, Zion H.V. Augensen, Alistair, Jacob the Numbnut, Soruka, Sir Newt, Evie, Rambling Robin, Hashi, Black Ace 202, Dissy, Habo Himbro Mirror, Magenta, Russell, Vulgar Beast, Person 212, Claire Miboon, Oakwood Tree, Mr. Pyramid, Makot O2, Geo, Nils Schlatter, Iron Camel, and Nah, I'm going to bed. Thank you again, and I'm gonna go right back to work on the big ecology videos. Take care, everyone. Happy hunting.